Hey everybody, it's Mr. Demanic here. I'm currently up at about 3:30 in the morning, and I cannot sleep. I'm in the new apartment, and I haven't quite gotten used to it yet, so I thought I'd sit down and go through an old video, a lot of raw footage. It's a couple hours of me taking the bike out for a spin, starting off in a really, really small town with about 2,000 people tops. And you'll be able to notice there's not a whole lot going on around me in the beginning. That's one of the cool things I think about this set of clips, is that I start off in this small town, and by the end of the video I'm at a Barnes & Noble in San Antonio, Texas, which was about an hour away from this town. Of course, the video is not going to be that long, because I've spent the past hour or so just chopping it up and editing. I've edited out all the stoplights, I've edited out all the stop signs, as you can see just there. One of the things I want to note about this video is I don't really speed on the motorcycle. I don't really ride it for the speed. I ride it for the freedom of mobility, and I just enjoy the ride. So if you see cars passing me, it's because I'm going the speed limit. I mean, I just like the ride. I'm not really trying to get anywhere quick. Especially on this particular day, I had a day off work, and I wanted to go into town and pick up a book or two. So I thought I'd go for a nice leisurely ride. And this is the small town that I used to live in before this apartment. It's got about 2,000 people. I think I mentioned that already. It's got about 2 restaurants total and 1 stoplight. And that was the light that we went under earlier. I was lucky to just pass right through it. A lot of buildings that look like they should be businesses but don't really operate anymore. We're passing the 2 restaurants on the right, by the way. Yep, there's the other one right there. Then there's houses all of a sudden. It's a really strangely laid out town. I love it. I mean, I spent the past, let's see. Well, basically I got there when I was in 2nd grade, so, and I'm in college now. I've also sliced out a lot of the gassing up. There's only one gas station stop in this whole video, this whole trip. Motorcycles get pretty decent mileage, but I just didn't think that you guys would want to watch me sit there and gas up a gas tank for a motorcycle for like 5 minutes. So I chopped that out, and I've jumped ahead a little bit in time at this point in the video. Now we're currently getting into a neighboring town, the town that my parents just moved into. They sold the house in the town from the beginning of the video, and we now live in a house in this town, on the outskirts of this town. This town's a lot larger. This town has, I'm not quite sure of the population, but I know it's a lot larger than the town I was in the beginning. The town I was in the beginning is one of those towns that everyone knows everyone. I mean, you'll go to the supermarket, gas station, anything, and you'll run into people you know. Everyone just knows everyone, or at least everyone recognizes everyone else. And I kind of like it. I forgot about this part. In the video, I've decided that I was hungry, and so I was stopping at a local Subway. And this gets chopped out, obviously. You guys don't want to watch me eating. Like I said, if my commentary is a little dry right now, it is 3:37 in the morning. I'm exhausted, but I just can't sleep. It might be the new apartment, but it's been on and off. I've been thinking about picking up some melatonin for nights like these, but I'll admit, slicing through roughly 3 hours of motorcycle footage to cut it down into around 20 minutes video, it does quite the trick. I'm kind of sleepy, but I'm gonna try to push through this commentary, and hopefully it turns out okay. The video has a few editing quirks in it, like stuff that I just decided I thought I would throw in there. I think there's only like 2 at this point in the process, the editing process. One of the things about riding a motorcycle is that you can just kind of go around speed bumps. I really like that. One of the other things about riding a motorcycle, especially with a GoPro, is that you can see all your little habits. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier or if it was just a thought that passed through my head, but when I'm riding the motorcycle, I'm not really thinking about these little mannerisms and habits that I have. For example, here's another editing. I don't know. I wanted to show off the other motorcyclist. I don't know. I like seeing other motorcyclists on the road. Like I was saying, there's a couple of habits that I have when I ride this motorcycle that I don't really notice otherwise. One of which is I do mirror checks when I'm changing lanes, and then I'll do an entire shoulder check where I just look over my shoulder. And it's interesting. I never really thought about it, but I don't know where that habit came from. They don't really teach it in the motorcycle training course that I had to take to get licensed. They don't teach you that. Granted, that was years ago, but I remember the class very clearly, and they definitely don't teach you to do shoulder checks, or at least my instructor didn't. So I think maybe when I was new to riding, perhaps I was nervous to trust my mirrors, and so I would do shoulder checks. And here I was getting a little annoyed on the road because this is a merge. This is one of the major merges to get onto the highway to enter San Antonio. And this piece of work here on my left is not really going with the zipper. He's trying to just get ahead of as many people as he can before the merge, which ends up just slowing everyone down and causing a little bit of confusion. See, this van also did the same thing, decided that he wanted to pass me, and the car behind me did it properly. He just waited and let me zipper in. Maybe I'm in the wrong there. I'm not really sure who has the right way in that situation, so I could be wrong, but I know that most people follow the tried and true zipper method, especially on that merge, and some people weren't doing it today, and I was kind of annoyed by that. See, like I said earlier, I ride because I enjoy the freedom and mobility of the motorcycle, and I just enjoy the ride, and I feel like you're right there with the scenery, whereas in my truck, sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit removed from everything, and it's easy to feel that way. I have the radio going, I've got the air conditioner, and the temperature around me is literally 20 to 30 degrees cooler than it is outside the vehicle. It's easy to feel removed, whereas on the motorcycle, I'm kind of squidding right now, which I don't normally do. So if you look at my arms, you can see I'm not wearing my jacket. I'm wearing my gloves and my helmet, and my pants and everything, but I believe I have my boots on. I could be wrong, but I didn't want to wear the jacket because this is midsummer in South Texas, and it wasn't a very cool day, to put it lightly, so I just decided to go without the jacket. Normally I like to ride with it, though. It makes me feel a little bit safer. See, these people are going quick. I'm going the speed limit, and I know this because I wanted to get to Barnes & Noble, but I just don't really enjoy speeding. As a college student, I can't really afford a ticket or anything, so I'm just kind of going with the pace, and I just enjoy the ride. To put it in reference, I believe that is around 65 to 70 miles per hour that I was going there. So these cars around me are going extremely quickly. An interesting tidbit about riding with a GoPro is that if you look at some of the wheels, the hubs of other cars when I pass them, or if they pass me, sometimes you can see it looks like they're not moving, or that they're moving backwards. And this is because the camera's frame rate, capture frame rate, I believe, might not be the right terminology, but anyway, the camera's capture rate is lined up with the rotational speed of their hubs, so it's only taking a picture when their hubs have once every time their wheels have gone a full rotation and then some. So it'll appear as though the hubs are moving slower, just because there are frames only being captured when the wheels are once per rotation, but not perfectly. If it was perfect, it would look like the hubs weren't moving at all. And if you look, these hubs are moving backwards on the gray van to my right that I just passed. Maybe I'll go go in and edit in a magnify effect on there and show you guys what I'm talking about a little easier. But it's really interesting to think about stuff like that. Frequency of things, our perception of things can be changed so greatly by stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff like that in the world too. Camera frame rate completely changes the way we view wheel hubs in this particular video. Just makes me think, wonder about what else there might be with effects like that are similar, that are commonplace, that no one really notices. I've cut through a lot of editing at this point, and we're reaching around the 10-minute mark. So we're already a decent bit into San Antonio. I'm near the University of the Incarnate Word at this point in time, and it's only been 10 minutes, roughly 11 minutes now, of video recording, whereas in person this was probably an hour and a half in. It's a little bit longer. I've spent a good amount of time slicing videos today, and ripple deleting and everything like that. And my GoPro is set to automatically start a new recording every 2 gigabytes of footage. So it's been interesting having to deal with all the raw footage. There's been a lot of slicing and reorganizing and trying to get everything in the right spot, which was a lot easier before the slicing, because that way I can see where I start, where I end, and I can put them in the right order. But in the video it might seem like I'm just kind of jumping around all over the city. Right now I'm kind of north downtown, maybe. I don't remember exactly which part of the city this is. But San Antonio is a big place, especially if you consider all the tiny outlying districts to be just a part of San Antonio's umbrella, like Bernie, Live Oak, which is where I was born, actually. Live Oak, Texas, Live Oak in San Antonio, Texas. And here in the video, I actually turned early into a motel and got to watch this man make a really brave jaywalk. To just be doing that in front of me with my GoPro trained on him. I guess jaywalking is kind of a super common thing now, and people don't really care about it as much. I mean, and here I was originally going into a half-price books, but this place was really small and didn't have any of the books that I wanted. I just thought this little back alley entranceway they've got going on here was really interesting. I didn't really peruse the books too much because there weren't a lot. So eventually I just decided, yeah, I'm just gonna leave this place and head to Barnes & Noble, where I know they have a lot of books. I know you guys probably weren't expecting to see a video like this on my channel. All the 16 subs of mine. But really, I'm kind of expanding the channel a little bit, and I might do more of this. Maybe I'll do a apartment tour, or some kind of vlog, or I'm really open to any kind of ideas. Just kind of brainstorming and trying to figure out what more content to give you guys, because I enjoy the editing a lot, and I know I haven't really done a lot on the channel. I've done a lot on personal projects, but not a whole lot on the channel. Even in my unlisted videos, this editing program I'm using is very new to me, though. I've just started trying out new programs and seeing what I like. I really like this area of San Antonio, out near Incarnate Word. A little park area. I had no idea it was here. I've lived in the San Antonio area roughly my entire life up until now. And I still find new places in the city that I haven't been to. I just find that interesting. It's a big place. I wish I knew exactly which part of San Antonio this was. I didn't really pay a lot of attention to that. I had my phone hooked up as a kind of GPS in front of my tank bag right in front of me here, between my arms. So see, there's one of the shoulder checks I was talking about earlier. I checked my mirrors and I did a whole shoulder check. Another perk of riding motorcycle is I can just slip right by this guy, right there, yep. And then I can continue, because he was not turning right, and I was. So I decided that I was ready. I was ready to move on. And there was enough space for me, and no one was harmed. I know some people get some road rage about stuff like that. Whoa, I just noticed there was a helicopter in the video. I didn't catch that originally. About 20 seconds ago on the top right corner. Maybe I'll magnify it in post. In the final draft, I guess. I'll magnify the helicopter. Just interesting. I didn't even catch that in the original recording or the editing. It kind of makes you wonder what else is hidden in these videos that I didn't see at the time or after. Interesting. For this video, I've decided that I wasn't really going to go through the trouble of blurring out a whole lot. Maybe I'll blur out a couple things here and there for the final draft. But at this state of the editing process, nothing is blurred out at all. This is because the license plates, almost all of them in the video, are illegible. Either I'm too far away, or we're moving too fast, or something of the sort. Or my GoPro just isn't catching the detail that would be required for this kind of thing. So I decided I wasn't going to blur them out. Maybe a couple of signs or something I'll blur out. But for now, I'm leaving the license plates as they are. I just arrived at the parking lot that Barnes & Noble is on, so I better start wrapping up my commentary, because I believe there's like 30 seconds more in the video, something like that. I guess I just wanted to get something out to you guys. Maybe I'll take this down, maybe I won't. It really just depends. Depends on how I feel when I wake up in the morning and rewatch it. I've got a couple of ideas and videos that I still need to edit for you guys, and I will get to that, but until then, you guys need to take care, and I'll see you next time.